Y'all, welcome to High Off Life TV. It's your boy, Mike Sick, Barry Halfway. I'm with the first lady of High Off Life TV, Alonda Rich. Yes, y'all. This is a family affair, man. A lot of y'all been tapped in for a long time, and y'all may not know what it is. So this is what it is, for clarity, for the record. The first lady of High Off Life, Alonda Rich. What's going on, Queen? What's up?
What's up? What's good, bro?
We chilling. We chilling. So far, so good. The new album is out right now. Tell me about the album, the thought process, the music, the feel, the vibe.
Right. So far, so good is a collective of songs that I wrote just about growth and stepping into your power, knowing what you want, and the process of getting through all the things that you go through in life. So. I'm really proud of it.
I feel like I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. You know? I need to hear it. You know, but I'm proud of everything that you do because you work so hard and you're a born natural. And you know, for as long as I've known you, it doesn't matter what life is thrown at you. You always find a way to get back to the music and just make music. And I'm like, I really admire that.
Thank you.
You know, I really do.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you got. Let's talk about those three things. The first one was stepping into your power.
Yes.
Talk about how you step into your power and how one would step into their power, whether it's male or female.
Songs like the first song on the EP, The Mantra. I basically say, I am her. I had a friend of mine send me a voice note, random voice note. It just was, I don't know, maybe a minute or two long, telling me, like, you know, you need to realize, like, you're that girl. Like, stop sleeping on yourself. And it really meant a lot to me because people around you don't always notice when you might be going through something or when you just, you know, you're not as confident as you might be. And I know that particular person, he's expressed that I've inspired him a lot with my music and the stuff that he's heard of mine. So it was really, it was a big deal for me because I was like, you know what? You didn't even know that I needed to hear that. Right. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself, like, you can't rely on other people and wait on them to tell you like, what you are. Right.
But it's crazy how that works though, right? That feedback loop that you bet on yourself and you pour into yourself. And sometimes, you know, we do it in a way it's like, everybody's sleeping on me, so I'm going to pour into myself. Or other times it might be just be like, you know, you got to just love yourself and just cut yourself off from the world. But then when you pour into yourself, it's like you're recharging your battery. It's literally power. Like that's the power. But what's amazing though, what I love is that you pour into yourself and then you get that feedback that you didn't know that you needed. They didn't know that you needed it, and then it all just kind of works out, and that's the power of music. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you don't realize how when you are full and like really spreading your light and being in your true, authentic self, and you're out there in the world, how you inspire other people to do that same thing, and then they inspire others. It's a really cool effect.
No doubt. I want to table that I want to table the album real quick. Come back to it, but on that note, a lot of people discovered you through your music on TV shows. Give me a quick rundown of some of the shows that we may have heard your music on, and also, you know, when you're writing for TV and film, this is a big question though, but as you're writing for TV and film, a lot of it is very, there's a subject or like a feeling or a mood. And the music that I've heard, a lot of it is kind of positive, or it's like, you know, like you gotta, I feel like with film sync or TV sync, you have to connect and resonate to an emotion more so than like go crazy, super lyrical, or have something catchy. I feel like it has to match the tone of a show. So
for sure.
Talk about how your music, how you write for it for an emotion, and do you think that's connected with people for them to connect with you to find your music?
Oh, absolutely. So typically what happens is there's a brief or just a description of what you know, a music supervisor or a sync library is looking for, and they're usually pretty vague at times. So it'll say they need a sad song, you know, about blah blah blah, but they don't tell you really what's happening in the scene. So then you know, kind of create the song, and I've learned that sometimes it's better to not be so precise. Like in my personal music, like I might talk about like, okay, well, this person, me and this person went down this path and this happened, that happened, but I might be more vague just because I think it makes it easier to fit multiple scenes versus just that one. So if it doesn't work out, you know, you still have a song that's good for other options.
Right.
But depending on how it gets placed in the scene, like there's background music. I've had plenty of songs that have just been background music, but then sometimes they'll get placed where like it's like the actors in the show are playing the song. So I have a song, for example, called "Okay to Cry." And it's just about it being okay to cry. Like, I don't think people hear that enough. Like, it's all right. Like, sometimes it's okay to be sad and to get through your emotions and to, brush your shoulders off.
Yeah.
So in Our Kind of People was the show. Two of the characters, I think it was the mom and the daughter, they were in the kitchen dancing to the song. I just thought that was so fire because it was like the perfect, backdrop and video for my song, basically. Like, I don't even need to do a video,
Yeah.
But they were dancing, like, and almost the whole song played, which doesn't always happen. And I had people messaging me like, I needed to hear that, I'm crying right now. Or I've had people tell, a woman once hit me and said she was going through battling addiction and the song really spoke to her. So, like, things like that are very important to me. I try to keep that in mind when I'm writing. Like, I recognize that there's a huge responsibility in what we're saying as artists. So it's important to me to say something for real.
For sure. So what are some shows that your music has been on?
My music has been on The Shy. It's been on BMF, Our Kind of People, 20s, which is done by Lena Waithe. I absolutely love her. I think she's a fire director and show writer. There's a movie called Hip Hop Family Christmas, which is actually one of the first movies that my music has been in. Neo was in it. I just thought that I grew up like listening to Neo, so that was definitely a milestone for me. I love that.
You've had some placements too outside of the sync licensing and film and TV. You also have some placements with some major artists, and not just domestically, but abroad as well. You got the placement with Dej Loaf, Benny the Butcher, the homie South Africa.
Stogie T.
Yeah. Talk about these placements and how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Go in, but also talk about how collaborating is nowadays when you're not in person and but when you get that plaque in the mail, what that feels like.
Oh man. So the record was Stogie T and Benny the Butcher. I actually started going down this rabbit hole of making hooks to tracks for BeatStars. And me and some producer friends of mine, the Kinetics, we decided to just make a batch of them and just to start systematically putting them out. So Animals is the name of the track. It's actually the first one we ever even put out. And
this is Stogie T, Benny the Butcher, Alonda Rich.
Yes, I'm on the hook. So I wrote the hook, sang the hook. So Z Rich of High Off Life, actually, with the contacts he has, he thought it was fire, and he had done some, I'm not sure in what capacity, but I know that he knew Stogie T and his manager to some degree. So he was like, this would be fire for him. So he just sent it to him, just, hey, take a listen to this.
Yeah.
And he loved it, and instantly was like, yo, like, take that off BeatStars. Like, I have to have that. So we made that happen. I actually didn't know that he was getting Benny on it. I was excited enough that Stogie was going to be rapping on it, because he's absolutely fire. We didn't know who the feature was gonna be, but when it came out, I just remember being like, yo, this is wild. Wild. Like, I'm on a track with not only Stogie T, but Benny, like arguably two of the most fire MCs out in hip hop. So
I love that.
It's crazy.
I love that. And let's talk about that, because that is very a label didn't place that. Nobody from a label was like, hey, we got this, and we get this opportunity. I feel like everybody at a record label talks like that. Like everybody talks like Quagmire at a record label. We don't talk like that. But it's a very DIY mindset. And I've seen you hustle. Yeah. I've seen you juggle multiple hats. You got to wear 2 different pants at once. I've seen it. But talk about that DIY mindset. And do you have aspirations of rocking with a label, or what is your dream scenario? In the music industry. But let's start at the beginning though. Talk about the DIY and maybe what the dream scenario is.
So I think it's really important to maintain independence. And I think that the way things are set up now, there's more opportunity for artists to be more independent. I advocate all the time, especially newer artists that are looking to find their sound. Like, you have to get your own setup. I don't care how cheap it might be, or whatever your budget allows. Try to find some way to write and record on your own, because for many reasons. One, like, if an opportunity comes across the table, you can instantly just jump on it. You don't have to wait to go to the studio and spend your coins and all that. But 2, like, for me at least, I could say it really helped me build my sound. and find myself as an artist, like, you know, the things I like and don't like about my voice, or just what I need to work on.
What's your dream scenario?
My dream scenario, I don't know. I feel like I battle this all the time. I'm not against you know, signing to a major label, but it would have to be the right scenario. Like, it's really important to me to have creative control over what I'm putting out. I have 2 daughters, and everything I do, whether it's what I wear, the things I say out of my mouth, the way I carry myself, it's important to me that it inspires them and doesn't, I don't know, like I recognize the responsibility that those things have.
For sure.